Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So we've got Kevinoleary here today. If you don't know who that is, he's one of the guys from Shark Tank, one of the entrepreneurs, investors. He's not on every episode, but he's generally one of the excuse me, voices of reason. A lot of times he goes for an equity share rather than buying the whole company or even owning any part of the person's company. He'll say, I'll give you this $150,000 and I just want $1 for every unit you sell or something like that in perpetuity. So basically, he's going to make money off of you forever and you still own your company. Most of the other guys don't do it that way. It's a little different method. He likes that scenario. That's just one example of negotiation, of coming up with new ideas, new ways of doing things. He's an expert at that. And so he's really the perfect guy to try at least to explain to this CNN reporter here how what happened in this trial was just utterly ridiculous. Anyway, let's start the video and listen to what he has to say.
Wouldn't there be many companies who would not want to do business or loan money to people like yourself or investors if they know that they can get away with fraud and there's no recourse to protect them?
Excuse me, what fraud? This is not about Trump anymore. When you get a developer that builds a building and he says it's worth $400 million and he wants to borrow $200 million from a bank, which happens every day, everywhere on earth, including every American city, every developer is an entrepreneur. The
comment I made on the video was, this is not about Trump. This is about our system, our society. And to be perfectly honest with you, I think the people who were prosecuting Trump here actually want to be able to do this. This is by doing this to someone that they believe a lot of people hate. They think they might get away with it, and then they'll be able to do it to anybody they want to in the future. They want to be able to use the law to target their political opponents, to destroy them so that they can have ultimate power. That's really what it's all about. They want to control people. They want to destroy people. They don't want to build anything. They don't want to make anything. They don't want to make things better. They just want things for themselves. If this is the comment that I left on Twitter or X, I'm going to still keep calling it Twitter because that's what I've always known it as, was if this is allowed to stand, every car loan, every home loan, every business loan, every loan in this country, or at least for now in New York City, is in jeopardy of triggering a lawsuit. There was no fraud. I bought a home, I actually sold a home recently. We had an appraiser come out and say the home was worth $105,000. Then people came, we put it on the market. People came, looked at the home. They offered the full asking price of $105,000. Then, just as banks would do, and their bank is forcing them to do this, they have an inspector comes in and inspects the house. They say, well, you have this wrong, this wrong, this wrong, this wrong, needs to be repaired. Get that repaired before I'll buy it, and I'll buy it for $103,000. So we have to decide whether we want to accept that or not. We accepted it. Oh, I'm sorry, it wasn't $100,000, it was $200,000. $205,000, $203,000. had to get some repairs done. Got the repairs done. Bank said okay. Their bank said okay. Sale went through. Everybody's happy, right? The buyer was happy. Me, the seller, was happy. The bank was happy. They got their appraisal where it needed to be. They got the things repaired that needed to be repaired. Inspector got paid. The realtors got paid. Everybody's happy. There was no fraud. No one tried to lie. No, nothing happened. It was the same thing in this Trump case. No one lost any money. The banks were happy. Maybe Trump did say this building is worth $400 million, and the bank came back and said, well, it's only worth $300 million. We think it's worth $300 million, but we'll loan you $150 million. That's called negotiation. A thing is only worth what someone will pay you for it. And the equity in a building is the same way. The worth of that equity is whatever someone will loan you on it. To say that Trump overvalued it is irrelevant and ridiculous. You can't overvalue something. You can't undervalue something because it's worth whatever someone will pay you for it. You can think it's worth $400 million. The bank says, we'll give you $150 million, and you accept their agreement. And he paid the interest. Everything is fine. So if this is allowed to stand, every loan, every one of you people out there, whether you're liberal, Democrat, libertarian, Marxist, communist, fascist, whatever you are in America, whatever you think you are, Green Party, whatever, if you've ever bought a car on a loan, if you've ever bought a house on a loan, if you ever got the business loan, every one of those loans, if this is allowed to stand, can trigger a lawsuit if someone doesn't like you. And that's the bottom line. That's what this court did. They don't like Trump. And so they said, we're going to use our power to try and destroy him just because we can, because we want power. Anyway, sorry that rant was a little long, but these things need to be said.
Shine the light on their building and they say it's worth 400. The bank does its own due diligence, as was done in this case, because they're very good at it. The banks are very good, and they say, no, it's worth 300. We're only going to loan you 150 million. That haggling has gone on for decades. That's how it works. And then in this case, even the bank that was supposedly defrauded testified and said, we didn't lose anything. We want to do business with this guy again. We'd like to. But the judge said, no. Let's penalize this developer for $355 million. And if we're going to do that, let's penalize all the developers all across America.
My biggest point was, if this is allowed to stand, we can do this anywhere at any time we want to, and nobody's going to want to do these things anymore. This one case right here against Trump, which might be someone that you hate, and it doesn't really matter if it's someone that you hate. If this is allowed to stand, this country is over. We're done.
They've all done the same thing. All of them should go to jail, and we should stop building buildings. That's what the message is from New York. Even the governor herself is concerned about what this looks like to investors all around the world. It's not just U.S. domestic. All around the world, people are talking about what happened here. You really think people want to invest money in New York after this? How about we go somewhere else?
I think there are people who would. I don't want to cut you off, but I want to converse with you instead.
You just did.
It's only because I want to
every
have
time
a
I try to make a video.
Kevin,
I respect
as opposed
you.
to just
I
having
respect
you tell
because
me.
you're a lawyer. You're a lawyer. You understand.
Now, I wasn't really sure when he said that. I'm pretty sure he was being a little sarcastic there and trying to say how idiotic it is that she's arguing against what he's saying. And the fact that she's a lawyer, she really should know better.
Exactly what I'm talking about.
I gotta tell you, I'm respectable for a number of reasons, Kevinoleary, but being a lawyer is one of those issues. But
right there, she knows he was insulting her, but she doesn't want to point it out. She makes light of it a little bit there. You know, she's basically trying to say, why? Even though you were being serious, you were poking fun. I know you were poking fun, so it's okay, because I'm going to poke fun too.
I'll tell you, when I hear your conversation, and I do want to converse with you about this point, I understand that there are legitimate concerns that were raised during the trial and will continue to be raised about who the quote unquote, who is actually bringing the suit. It wasn't the banks who were.
She backpedals on just a ridiculous point here that has nothing to do with the actual trial itself. Oh, we need to look at who was actually bringing the suit here. No. Yeah, okay. That's valid. But the bigger point is the fact that these people are using their political power to try and destroy an enemy. They're using the government.
Saying that we as consumers or unsophisticated feel this way, but Letitia James, the Attorney General, and I know you want to expand beyond Trump, has suggested, well, it's about making the playing field level for those who are not the major and billionaire.
Liberal is always trying to go, oh, we're trying to level the playing field. We're trying to make the playing field level for everyone. The playing field is level for everyone. You're not living in Russia. You're not living in China. You're not living in Europe. You are the ones that are trying to make the playing field unlevel. You're trying to tilt it to your side.
Investors, but for those who are supposed to put business records out there, want to get a loan, the idea of making sure that they have to have the same true statements included as those who have a lot more money. Is there any...
You hear the same true statements? We've already established that there is no truth in valuation. It's simply opinion. It's my opinion versus the bank's opinion. And as long as we make an agreement and it's on paper and everybody follows that agreement, then there was no fraud. Then nothing wrong happened.
Wait to that for you?
Well, I asked you who lost money, and I'll make it even clearer. You and I,
Thank you.
We're developing a data center together, and I say to you, we can go to New York, where this just happened. It's your money now.
Why would
You're
you?
now an investor, and you're taking risk. You're an entrepreneur with me, right beside me. We're together on the deal. Or I can show you Oklahoma, North Dakota, West Virginia, where the governors actually ran businesses. Let's go there, where this never happened before. They have power. They have permits. They've got legislation that's supportive of entrepreneurship. Why would we go to New York? Why take the risk? My only point is, did we just...
I want to make a really quick point about New York. I've been watching the channel for quite some time, Louis Rossman, and he had a business in New York. He's now moved it to Texas, I believe, which a lot of people have done. Some went to Florida, some went to Texas, some went to other places. But yeah, people have been moving out of New York for a while now because they are so hostile to business, because it's gotten to the point where it's being run by Democrats almost exclusively, and they can just do whatever they want because there's no political opposition, and they simply buy votes and they make their constituents happy because they hate Trump. So see what we did to Trump? So you should vote for us. And they continue to do it.
Diminish the great state of New York and the great people of New York. And shouldn't they ask for better management so they don't become a flyover state? Remember, New York has the highest taxes in the country, the worst regulatory environment, and it's incredibly mismanaged. And I'm pointing out now, on top of that, you get this insanity.
Taxes in the country, the worst regulation. I used to be a truck driver, as some of you may know, and I went to New York a couple of times in my 7 or 8 year career as an over-the-road truck driver. And the tolls going over that George Washington Bridge, you got to remember, this was close to 20 years ago. And at that time, it was almost $20 for a semi to go over the George Washington Bridge. And you had to do it twice because you get once in, once out. Now, obviously, I wasn't paying it. I was a company driver, but my company's got to pay it. Now, I don't even know. I've heard it's $20 just for a car to go over that bridge now. So it's got to be $50 or $60 for a semi. And I saw a video the other day where a guy or trucker said he was going over the bridge, and the traffic is always bad. So you might be going 5 miles an hour. You might be stopped for 3 minutes. He looked down outside his window, and the asphalt was so bad he could see cars on the level below him. It's a double-decker bridge. It's got traffic here, and then more traffic up above. And he's on the upper level, and he could see the cars down below him through the bridge. And it costs you $50, $60 to take a semi over that bridge. It's ridiculous. And once again, check out Louis Rossman's channel. He's been talking about how bad New York's been getting, how hard it is to run a business in New York now, how the business owners refuse to lower the rents, so businesses sit there empty. Anyway, check him out.
A victimless crime. And forget about Trump. It's not about Trump. I don't care about Trump in this. I care about America, and I care about entrepreneurship, and I care about democracy and the fairness. The judicial system is now being criticized. People are asking themselves, the bar of New York, is this judge rational to charge $355 million in a case where no one lost any money?
At the New York Bar Association. These are people are on the New York Bar Association. Their political views are probably in line with this CNN reporter, CNN anchor, or whatever you want to call her, and the rest of the politicians in New York. But they're also going, wait a minute. We get away with doing this to Trump. It might get done to other people we don't want it to get done to. Plus, $355 million fine where there were no damages to anyone. Even if Trump did do something that you would actually legally consider fraud, how can you levy $355 million fine when there were no damage? The state of New York benefited, the city of New York benefited, Trump benefited, the banks benefited. Everybody got out good on it, and you're still going to fine him $355 million? No. Even the State Bar Association is saying, we may not be able to let this stand.
Is that good for the people of New York? Should the people of New York wake up to this and say, what's happening to us? Why is this becoming so perverse? Why are we the focus of this injustice? And I have nothing to do with Trump. I'm not supporting Trump. I'm supporting American entrepreneurship. And New York is slowly becoming the #1 loser state in America. I'm sorry, that's what's happening.
There you have it, folks. New York is slowly becoming the #1 loser state in America. So there you have it, folks. Kevinoleary said it. New York is slowly becoming the #1 loser state in America. I always thought that was California, but I guess New York is running a close second, and they're trying to take the lead. So anyway, thanks for watching the video, guys. I hope you got this far. If you did, make sure to drop a like on the channel. Maybe leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. And I just want to say, get on X. Hey, I did it. I didn't say Twitter. Get on X and put out the hashtag new yuck. Let's start a trend. We'll see you next time.